Ever wondered which tiny piece of you is holding the line between life and death right this second? Most people point to the heart, some shout the brain, a few guess the lungs. The truth is far stranger than any of those guesses. Your body isn't a simple machine where every part can be swapped out like a car engine. Some organs can be taken out, and modern medicine can keep you alive for years. Others, however, are irreplaceable. Lose them and the clock starts ticking. We're ranking the major organs not by size or fame, but by a single question. How long could you survive without them? The answers will flip everything you thought you knew about your own body. Let's start with the organ that almost nobody mentions, yet it runs every second of your existence. Deep beneath the thinking part of your brain sits a structure about the size of a thumb. It's called the brainstem. It doesn't store memories, it doesn't solve puzzles, it doesn't make choices. Instead, it quietly controls the basics that keep you alive. Breathing, heart rhythm, blood pressure, and the level of consciousness. You never have to remember to breathe because the brainstem does it for you. Think of it as the operating system of your body. You only notice it when it stops. Unlike many other organs, there is currently no machine that can permanently replace a damaged brainstem. When it fails, spontaneous breathing ends, consciousness fades, and the body's automatic controls shut down. That is why, in most countries, irreversible brainstem failure is the legal definition of brain death, even if a ventilator can still move the heart. The brainstem isn't first not because it's the biggest, but because it has no backup. No second chance. Next up, the tireless pump that never takes a break. The heart beats around 100,000 times every single day. Each beat sends oxygen and nutrients to almost every cell. When the heart stops, blood flow to the brain ceases within seconds. Consciousness fades, and permanent brain damage can begin in just a few minutes unless circulation is restored. For centuries, that made the heart seem completely irreplaceable. Today, technology tells a different story. Artificial hearts, mechanical pumps, and heart transplants have turned the heart into an organ with a temporary backup. Some patients survive weeks or months on devices that do most of the heart's work while they wait for a donor. The heart remains essential, but now we have a bridge that can keep you alive long enough for a solution. Now consider the organ that makes every breath feel effortless. Your lungs contain hundreds of millions of tiny air sacs where oxygen enters the blood and carbon dioxide leaves. This exchange happens more than 20,000 times each day. Without oxygen, every organ begins to struggle, and the brain is usually the first to suffer. Even here, modern medicine has built a remarkable substitute, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, or ECMO. Instead of breathing through your lungs, blood is pumped outside the body, oxygenated by a machine, and returned to circulation. ECMO isn't a permanent replacement, but it has kept critically ill patients alive for days or even weeks while their lungs recover or await transplantation. Your lungs may fail, but they're no longer always the final chapter. The liver is the silent chemical factory of your body. It processes nutrients, stores energy, produces clotting proteins, breaks down medications, removes toxins, and creates bile for fat digestion. Few organs juggle as many tasks at once. Unlike the heart or lungs, there is no single machine that can do everything the liver does. Doctors can support some functions temporarily, but not all. What makes the liver truly remarkable is its ability to regenerate. Remove a portion, and under the right conditions it can grow back. Very few human organs can do that. Yet when the liver fails, hundreds of essential chemical processes collapse together, and life-threatening toxicity spreads quickly. The liver often gives no warning until damage is severe, making it a quiet but dangerous threat. So far we've explored organs that keep you alive minute by minute. Each one is a vital cog, but they differ dramatically in how replaceable they are. What about the next group? Some weigh only a few grams, yet their loss can trigger a fatal crisis in days. Others control blood sugar, pressure, fluid balance, and even the invisible barrier that separates you from trillions of gut bacteria. And one of them may be far more important than most people realize. If this is blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button and stay with us. What do you think is the most surprising organ so far? Let me know in the comments. The next organ on our list is hidden inside the very framework that holds you upright. It's not a muscle, not a gland, and you can't see it without a scanner. It's the factory that lives in your bones. Bone marrow is a living, breathing workshop that never sleeps. Every second it churns out millions of fresh blood cells. Red cells ferry oxygen to every corner of your body. White cells stand guard against invading microbes. Platelets rush to any cut and seal the leak. Without this constant production, the whole system collapses. You would feel tired, you would bruise easily, and even a small scrape could become a life-threatening wound. What makes bone marrow even more fascinating is that it isn't a single, isolated organ. It spreads throughout the hollow spaces of your long bones, your pelvis, your sternum. It's a network, a distributed system. When it fails, doctors can replace it, not by swapping a piece of tissue, but by transplanting stem cells that travel through the bloodstream and repopulate the empty niches. That breakthrough has turned a once fatal condition into a treatable one for many patients. Now, let's move up to the front of your neck, where a tiny butterfly-shaped gland sits quietly, controlling the speed of almost every cell in your body. The thyroid is the master thermostat of metabolism. Its hormones decide how fast your cells burn fuel, how quickly your heart beats, how much heat you generate. When the thyroid underproduces, everything slows down. You feel cold, sluggish, and your mind can feel foggy. When it overproduces, you race through the day, trembling, sweating, losing weight without trying. The changes are subtle at first, often blamed on stress or diet, but over time they can reshape your entire health picture. The good news is that a single daily pill can replace the missing hormones. Modern medicine has turned a potentially crippling imbalance into a manageable condition. Yet the thyroid reminds us that even the smallest glands can dictate the rhythm of our lives. Next, imagine an organ tucked beneath your left rib cage that most people have never heard of. Yet it plays a crucial role in cleaning your blood and supporting your immune defenses. The spleen acts as a quality control center. It filters out old red cells, stores a reserve of blood for emergencies, and helps your immune system spot dangerous bacteria. Unlike many other organs, the spleen can be removed entirely without immediate death. Surgeons sometimes take it out after trauma or disease, and patients can live normal lives. However, the price is paid later. Without that extra layer of defense, certain infections become far more dangerous. That's why doctors give splenectomy patients special vaccines and advise them to seek care quickly if a fever appears. The spleen teaches us that some organs are silent guardians, and losing them changes the long-term risk landscape rather than causing instant collapse. Now, let's explore a handful of organs that many assume are indispensable, but the body can actually survive without them, though not without adjustments. The stomach, for instance, is the grand mixer of digestion. But if disease forces its removal, the intestines adapt. Patients eat smaller, more frequent meals and take a lifelong supplement of vitamin B12 to replace what the stomach normally releases. The gallbladder stores bile, releasing it in bursts to help break down fats. When it's gone, bile flows directly from the liver into the intestine, and most people notice little change after recovery. Even the appendix, once dismissed as useless, may serve as a safe house for beneficial gut bacteria, helping to repopulate the microbiome after severe infections. Its exact purpose is still under study, but evolution rarely keeps a structure around without a reason. All of these examples highlight a central theme. The body has built inherent redundancies and backup plans, but they vary in scope and effectiveness. Now we arrive at the organ that most people think defines who they are, the seat of personality, memory, and consciousness. The cerebral cortex is the wrinkled outer layer of the brain that lets you speak, solve puzzles, feel emotions, and create art. Damage to specific regions can alter speech, vision, movement, or even personality. Yet, surprisingly, the cortex is not the organ that decides whether you stay alive. People have survived massive strokes that destroy large swaths of cortex, thanks to the deeper brain structures that keep breathing and circulation going. The cortex shapes who you are, but the deeper brainstem ensures you keep existing. This distinction reshapes how we think about the mind-body relationship. We've now covered the full spectrum, from the irreplaceable brainstem that offers no second chances, through organs with sophisticated medical stand-ins, to those that can be removed entirely with the right care. What does this ranking really teach us? It tells us that the most important question isn't which organ is the biggest, or which organ looks the most impressive. It's which organ can be replaced, and how. The brainstem has no artificial substitute. The heart can be supported by pumps and transplants. The lungs can be oxygenated by machines. The kidneys can be cleaned by dialysis. The liver can regenerate, and the bone marrow can be repopulated with stem cells. The thyroid, spleen, stomach, gallbladder, and even the appendix can be compensated for with medication, lifestyle changes, or vaccines. Understanding these hierarchies changes how we protect ourselves. Keeping your blood pressure in check protects both heart and kidneys. Avoiding smoking preserves lung function, which in turn supports every cell. Regular exercise improves circulation, giving the brainstem more oxygen and nutrients. A balanced diet supplies the liver and pancreas with the right substrates, reducing the strain on those organs. Simple habits, sleep, movement, nutrition, stress management, become the most powerful medicine because they support the entire network, not just a single part. If any of this has shifted the way you view your own body, let us know in the comments. Which organ surprised you the most? Which backup system did you never realize existed? Share your thoughts and let's keep the conversation going. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden architecture of life, consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us bring more evidence-based explorations of the human body to the channel. Remember, the more you understand how your organs work together, the better you can protect them. Stay curious.